Hello, everybody. Welcome to DSC India Fireside Chat series. I am Aman Gupta from University of Petroleum and Energy Studies, Dehradun. I will be hosting this session along with Pranshu and Rohan. Before we move ahead, I would take a minute more for a brief introduction of this event, Learning from Experiences. It is a collaborative event by multiple DSCs across India and a part of DSC India Fireside Chat series. It is an informal yet structured interview between the moderator and a guest. We have always been told it is wise to learn from the experience, but it is wiser to learn from the experiences of others. So it's an unique opportunity to uncover the speaker's personal stories and ideas. You can also relate it with a structured AMA session. For this session, we have a special guest who works as a program coordinator for DSCs, GDGs, and TensorFlow user groups as a part of the developer relation team at Google India. It's my pleasure to introduce you and welcome Siddhant Agarwal, who always motivates and inspires us with his passion for technical community and program management.
So, hello, Sid. Okay, so we have got hundreds of questions from all over India, from which we have picked some of frequently asked question. And from next time, we recommend you all to ask question in video so that you will be asking directly with a guest. So let's start with the first question to Sid. Okay, so why do you choose computer science as a major in your college?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I'll tell you the honest reason for it. Um, I always wanted to pursue aerospace engineering, but not computer science engineering. And but there always been good inclination towards computers, technology, IT as a whole. Like I was quite fond of gadgets since my early childhood days, and I got a hold of a tech magazine called Think Digit back in my school days. That's where my interest in computers started growing, and I started like learning
Okay,
programming and stuff. Uh, but my back of the mind, I always wanted to become an aerospace engineer. Unfortunately, I didn't get that stream, and the next option for me was okay. I can think of computer science engineering because that's where one of the interests of mine, passion of my life. So I just like went ahead with that with all my guts and said like, okay, that's not aerospace engineering, computer science engineering,
okay,
and I never knew like maybe this is what I was wanting all my life. Maybe aerospace engineering is just like kind of like think of it. It's something you always dream of, in like in your childhood, but it's kind of nearly impossible, or you just like switch to different
yeah,
domains and stuff. And that's what happened. So I just moved from aerospace to computer science
computer.
engineering.
Okay, but I hope you are enjoying the journey with computer science.
Oh yes, definitely, I am.
Okay, so what would you have chosen other than engineering?
Uh, that's a good one. Another engineering, I don't know. So I had limited options at that point of a time during like when that selection counseling was happening. So if not engineering, maybe I would have dropped off a year, prepared for something else, maybe for IES. I don't know. I've never thought about it like so. And engineering was like think of it. The moment you graduate out of your school, the
Yeah,
only option for a computer science student is engineering. Like that's the most viable option for you. So I just went with that. Like there were no other second thoughts. Maybe I would have done like a graduation from Delhi University or somewhere else. But yeah, the preference was always engineering. The second preference would have been like a startup, but I felt like some engineering degree would be really helpful before I dive into that domain.
right, right, right. And it's kind of really very relatable with all of us. So what
Correct.
challenge did you face as a student?
So I studied in Dehradun. So the first and foremost challenge was staying away from your family. It was tough for the initial time because I had, like, coming from Delhi, I'd never been out of my home, so it was like taking me away from my comfort zone. So initial 6 months or other 1 year was a bit tough to cope up with everything. It's new environment. Everything was totally new to me. So that was the first challenge I faced, to like get out of your comfort zone, and be more practical. Like, okay, this is the thing now. One has to adjust to this new life, a hostel life. The hostel life itself was completely new to me. Second thing was, in terms of the academics, and maintaining a balance between academics and co-curricular activities. So if you ask my professors, even now they will be saying like, this person was hardly in his classroom, and that's what used to happen to keep a balance between academics and co-curricular activities. I was kind of a person who is more active in activities that are happening in campus and organizing them, like coming up with new initiatives, leading them, planning, strategy, everything, uh, rather than being in the classroom. Like, I'm not saying like don't be in the classroom. Don't take it as an advice. Classroom knowledge is definitely good. It's just that, like, my interest was more on the field than being
Right, right,
inside. I used to attend classes, but then of like I used to miss classes also. So keeping a balance between the academics and your co-curriculars was kind of like, quite a challenge, specifically, especially when it comes to the exam times. When I had to know that I have missed so many classes, I need to cover up this much of syllabus. So it was tough.
right, right. But what I think is like your story is kind of relatable to me because I'm also from Delhi and I have to go to hostel and this was really very first time for me also. But yeah, I found hostel life really enjoyable. Like I was like, oh my goodness, I was totally enjoying the whole day and each and every day in the hostel. Like we were continuously moving from like, okay, so today we have to visit this place, we have to visit this place, and if within a month or two we have explored all the Kurukshetra.
Yeah, that's what
Okay,
happened.
so
So
now,
it has its
yeah,
own fun. But then there was a pressure from the parents, like not a pressure as such, there's like expectations, like, uh, I'll not say pressure, it's more of expectation. So they and every parent has that expectation from their kid. They're sending their kid out of, from their home to a new location. It's far off, not that close by. It's six and
right.
a half hours of a journey, 300 kilometers away. You can't go like every day. You can go and come back and meet your kid. So they have that expectation.
So,
Okay, my like, is my kid okay, doing well in terms of both academics and also in terms of mental and physical health. So that was also one of the concerns, and making sure that they are like aligned, they're on the same page. That yes, I am doing well in the academics. I'm also keeping well myself in physical and mental well-being. So just to ensure that, like, to meet their expectations, we had to put in more effort. So when I said balance, so it was like, I if I'm putting my efforts in extracurriculars and co-curricular activities, I need to keep a balance with the academics also. If I'm more into academics, I need to keep a balance for my co-curricular activities also, to meet my own
so
interests,
true.
physical, my own mental well-being. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so most of us are having a common question like, how leadership role helped you in your academics and career?
So it helped me a lot, since the day I joined college, and till date. Like, I've been involved in various roles and capacities and various initiatives, activities, and stuff. So that leadership in my academics, and in my career has helped me a lot. So uh, back in the first year, I was part of the main organizing team behind the annual cultural festival of our college. And trust me, like there was no one from the first year who was part of that team, and being the only one leading that entire team of designers. So there was not a designer, as they were not team as such. It was just me who was working. So it felt good, and it gave me a lot of courage, a lot of motivation to do more and better. um, as a leader, one thing I learned is to like, you can shine, you can outgrow others, but you will be recognized as a good leader if your team really grows along with you. So that's what I learned, and this has been really helpful for me throughout the professional career as well. So back in my academics, I got the opportunity to become Google Student Ambassador. um, like, you all are TSC leads. So a
Yeah.
opportunity with more responsibility. So it was a privilege and an honor, but it has a responsibility attached to it. To fulfill that responsibility, one has to emerge as a good leader. And how to do that? You need to form a core team. You need to have your team, keep your team motivated always. You need to make sure that your team also is aligned with your vision. You need to ensure that your team also performs well. So these are like a couple of things that you need to keep in mind um, as a leader. So those that tenure, the duration of Google Student Ambassador program really helped me in shaping my entire career, I'll say. um, like, it's a dream for everyone to be at Google, but uh, when I graduated, I never joined Google. It's Google is my third company. um, but it helped me to be a better person. So leadership roles helped me to become a better individual, a better person as a whole.
Okay. Okay. So, as you already know, like these are the question, whatever question I am asking, these are all from our audience. Okay. So, the most common question that we have received is how to manage time as a student.
That's tough. Like, but trust me, like, this is something that once you graduate, you will realize this. The time you have as a student is the best time that you will have. Like, I'll not say like don't enjoy your college life. That's the golden time. Trust me, when you graduate and are in the industry, you will really miss your college days. Um, so don't like miss out on enjoying your college life, but at the same time, to enjoy throughout your life, you need to work a little harder than the rest of the individuals in your college. So that time management is really crucial, and this is something that I learned the hard way. When I graduated, I like kind of felt, hey, if I would have spent X number of hours, just like, let's say, 2 hours per day, uh, into programming side of things or computer science, like really upskilling myself, I could have done better when I graduated. uh, so that's where I'll say, like, do whatever you want, just put in 2 hours of your entire day to upskill yourself. Pick in a new technology that you want to learn. Start working on it, go in depth on it, dive into it. And if you feel that's of interest, then you can just like move to our next level of the technology. If not, then you can switch
Yeah.
to the technology. But find
Yeah. Right.
the first level over there. Try to be a pro in that technology, in that domain. And why I'm saying this, like, this is something outside your academics. Like academics, whatever faculties teach you, your basics, that will still be there. But you when you're graduating, when you're applying for jobs, when you're applying for internships, your resume will stand out only if you have done something other than what other students at your class, in your college, have done. So if you have done better than them during that, like beyond the academics, regular academics, then you have like higher chances to get your resume shortlist at least. Rest is the interview process and stuff. So, but
Okay.
for that, you need to put in more time. It's tough, but when you graduate, you will have much lesser time than you're having right now. As a student, you have the most number of hours available to you, that you can like devote in various activities and stuff.
Okay. So, but yeah, I was not willing to interrupt you at that time, but yes, we are still missing our college days due to Corona.
I know. It's
Yeah.
unprecedented time. It's like super tough to just be at home. Everyone has that urge to go out.
Yeah.
Even I'm kind of a person who always like goes out, travels a lot, and now I'm like here stuck inside the room. Can't
Yeah.
step out. But yeah, these are tough times. But the what what is not stopping you is the time right now you have like utilize the most of this current time. You don't have to travel anywhere these days. You don't have to
Yeah.
uh, like attend lectures, like roam around the campus and attend lectures. So you have like plenty of time to upskill yourself. So utilize this time. This is the best time actually.
Yeah, I totally agree. Okay, so this is not kind of that much positive question, but yeah, what things do you regret doing as a student?
um So I'll talk about the undergraduate days again. What I
Okay,
regret most is not uh, not working too hard on the academics. When I say academics, is it's more on like upskilling myself. So I did, but not too much of it. Like I could have done better, is what I felt. When I graduated, I felt okay. Beyond the academic projects, I have a very limited number of projects. So beyond the academic projects are basically your major projects, minor projects, and internship projects. So beyond that, what you have. So that was something I felt like I could have done better, and that's where I give this advice to everyone that hey, during your college days, make sure that you have projects done outside your academics, outside your minors and majors and your internship projects. Something which at least you can relate to the local community around you. It might not be relevant to a lot of people, but at least like if you can relate it to yourself or to the people around that to you or your college, that is also good enough. I'm not talking about projects which are like available on open source. You can easily like copy codes and stuff. This is something that I feel that you should not do. Come up with your own like entire program in itself. Something which is completely written by you. Of course, feel free to take help from different channels, resources, people, but something which is totally by you. So yeah,
okay,
that's one thing I feel I could have done more and better. And yeah, that's that. The rest, like my college
okay,
life was good. I enjoyed that life and missed that life.
yeah, okay. So, Sid, this is one of the most common question again, like how to stay motivated even in the adverse situation when everything is going opposite to the plans.
Okay. So when you say opposite to the plan, what is going opposite? Is it just that you're not able to attend the college? It's that you're stuck here in a room? What is it? Like everything is going as per the plan. It's just that the times have changed a bit. Um, the situation outside is bad. The situation inside and being connected with lot many people, it's getting better these days. Think of it, people who were not able to get connected. So, for example, if there was no COVID, um, will I be able to connect with a lot of people that are connecting right now live? Maybe not,
Mm,
because I would have limited bandwidth to go to one or two universities at max and connect with just only those people. Now I can connect to more individuals. So I think it's like if you take it in a positive sense, there's you can do much more things. So initially, even I felt this. Hey, I never done a webinar before, like During COVID was the first time I was doing kind of webinars and these things. So I felt like it's a better opportunity. I could reach out to more individuals. So actually, COVID turned out to be in a positive sense for me. I could widen my reach. So there is nothing like you're going up that's going opposite to the plan. Everything it's totally planned. Um, yes, I agree. The academic schedule has been disturbed a bit. There are job shortages outside in the industry. That I do agree. There is some challenge over there, but uh, still I am seeing a lot of companies having those openings. Like the work has resumed back, things have started back on track, at least on a virtual world now. So things are back. So s- no one is stopping you now. So just get started on it.
Okay, so that's a good answer. So, actually, one more question. Like, there is a lot of confusion in mind by seeing people around us doing great in different technologies. So, what technology would you suggest are important that we should know?
Every technology is important to me. This is one of the learnings in the last couple of years. Every technology has its own role to play. Like there's nothing like this technology is important, this is not important, this is important, this is not important. It doesn't work like that. Every so if you say, hey, backend engineer gets paid a lot, so backend engineer, I'll learn backend engineering, and that's it. Front end engineering is useless. Doesn't work. Without a front end engineer, back end is kind of a useless in itself, right? So everyone has their own role to play. UX designer also has a huge role to play. A front end engineer has a huge role to play. A back end guy has a huge role to play. uh, People who are DevOps or ML engineers, AI engineers, data scientists, they have their own role to play. Cloud engineer will have their own role to play. So every technology is equally important. Find your area of interest. Like I see people getting confused a lot these days. Like if I pick this, will I do good? Don't follow anyone else's path. This person has done something because the technology interests him or her. But does it interest you? Yes, no. For example, I see a lot of people who do Android. Does Android interest me? Maybe, maybe not. I'll just try it out. If it interests me, I'll continue. If it doesn't interest me, I'll move to a new technology. As simple as that. Same thing I do. Like I apply the same principle to me also. Like I'm talking about personal self. I pick in a technology. If in the technology, I just read about the technology, just try it out. If this interests me, I dive into it further. If it doesn't interest me, I just like stop doing it. But don't follow the technology or just do the technology, like learn the technology just because you're seeing someone else learning it and you're just following someone else's path. That hey, this person did this. You follow this path and you will land up a job here for an ML engineer or something else. So there are a lot of technologies out there in the industry. Pick in which one you feel you are good, which one you feel you are confident. I feel I'm not good at backend, so I've never dived into backend because I feel like it's a bit not my cup of tea. So I just like I'll stay away from it. But if I see that hey, this person is doing good in backend and I just started diving into it, it doesn't work out that way, right? So that's an advice to all the people out there that don't get confused with technologies come and go. Make sure that your core principles of computer science are strong. Your data structures, your algorithms um are really really strong. Don't forget that. That's a core for anything. If you know how to write a flowchart, if you know how to structure a program, that's it. Like you can do wonders in any technology, any language. um, you just need to learn principles, basics of any of the technology, syntax and stuff, any language, and you can just get started on it. It takes just a month to learn a new language. That's it. uh, not more than a month to learn the basics of a new language. So that's my advice. Don't follow someone else's path. Don't follow the technology just because someone else is doing great in that technology. Find out what is of your passion, what is of your interest, and then pursue the technology. You can explore various technologies. There are a lot of technologies that have an overlap. For example, web can be like ML can be implemented in web. ML can be implemented in Android also. ML can be implemented in cloud also. So you can have that kind of intersection with different technologies, but again, completely off the scratch, if you're learning something just because you see other person doing well in that, don't do that. That's my advice.
Okay. So another question is like, where to focus more on, development or competitive programming?
Basics, computer basics, be it development or competitive programming, whatever it is, the computer basics are essential. Computer programming, just like um, development on steroids. Think of it. Uh, you're doing everything in a fast track mode. Uh, Things are pretty quick. Whatever you do, at the end of the day, you're not building over there anything. For developer, you're taking your own sweet pace. That's good. That's bad. Totally depend on the individual and the timelines that you have. So my advice is, don't focus on like which one to choose. Just focus on your computer basics. If you find your interest in computer programming, that's good. You can go into that, um, pursue it. But at the end of the day, whenever companies interview, ask questions, they are mostly like asking on the data structures and content. They don't ask you like, hey, how well you have done in your computer programming or things like that. So they mostly ask the computer basics. So pick in whatever you want to. At the end of the day, it's your core computer science uh, basics that will be asked during the interview process.
Okay, fine. So, what advice would you give to self-learner who aren't enrolled in a computer science course or boot camp, but they are trying to do different stuff from their own?
I think no advice I'll give over here. They can pick in whatever they want to. It's their choice when they decided to not pursue any computer science course. They are going with a self-paced. The self-paced courses are really good. One thing that I could say over here is, self once one I don't know about the course that you're picking up. A lot of courses nowadays have challenge labs and challenges and stuff which try help you implement your learnings in a like a real, like, next to real time environment. So if it is there, that's good. You are working on a project and something. If not, once you have learned, try to build a project of your own.
Okay. So, actually, this is a question from majority of the tier three colleges, student of tier three colleges. Like, if I get placed with a package of 4 to 5 lakhs, so is it advisable to drop a year to prepare for GATE or join the company in which he or she is got the placement?
So totally dependent. Like, you are going for gate just because you will get a better package. My answer would be yes and no, both. I've seen instances where the person who after doing MTech also is getting the same paid as a person who just graduated from BTech. So it depends on you why you want to pursue gate. Gate is a master's degree, so if you want to increase your knowledge in computer science, then go for gate. If you are looking for a higher package, then I think you are fooling yourself. Of course, you like with a postgrad degree, you do get good packages and stuff, but I will not advise going with the master just because you want to have a better package. If it is like a must have, as in, there's the eligibility criteria, and you like whenever you're applying you're not able to meet that eligibility criteria, then it's a different thing than you're going for it, like, for that masters. And you want to just like pursue masters, you want to gain knowledge and stuff, but Ultimately, I'll suggest to like whatever you do it with ultimate passion. If you're going for masters, do it properly, not just like you'll get a better package and stuff. But yeah, mostly on that front. So so if you join a company also, you can do better. So you join a company, perform better, the company gives you hikes and stuff. You can think of switching jobs. You can get better paid. It totally depends on the individual, how the individual wants to shape their career. But don't go for masters just because you want to get a better package.
Okay. So, this is kind of somewhat a personal question. Like, what are the challenges you have faced to reach Google after completing your graduation from a private college?
So, so I'll not say challenge as such. Like as I said, like it happened. It happened. Like if it didn't happen, like I would have something else to do, right? So do not think that hey, getting into Google, it's a challenge that I have completed, and there's nothing after that. Like I'm not saying that you join and then you just forget about it. Think about a larger picture also. So uh, yeah, it happened. Like the role that I am in, it's of one of my like areas of interest, something that I really like. I'm passionate about. So I like the role. I applied. It happened. That's it. Like um, I'll not blame it on being from tier 3 university or from a private university. It's my own journey. It's my own career path.
Yeah,
Um, if I would have been, let's say, graduated from tier 1 institute, and still not landed up a job in Google, so what impact does it make? Nothing, right? So
yeah,
what will you say to
yeah,
that person, right? So it doesn't matter from which university you are from. It totally depends on you, like you what you have done in your undergraduate and how you want it to proceed. When I graduated, I joined in a completely tech role. Like I was into like development side of things, totally away from the community. Not totally, but as in like that was not my major role at IBM when I joined IBM after graduation. When I left, I took a role because I wanted to pursue something into the community side of things, into program management, and that's why I took a role in a company where I could pursue my career further. And then Google happened just because the role that I had applied, it was appealing to me. So again, I'll not blame it on university that I had. It's just my own path that I followed. I could have like, I maybe I was too early when I applied. So I applied for Google before. Maybe I was not ready yet for that job. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference. If I'm here right now, it doesn't matter that hey, this is the ultimate goal that I have achieved. There are like people who move out of Google also. They move to different companies. They start up their
yeah.
own. There's a long road ahead. Don't stuck at one place.
Okay. So it's a kind of a similar question. Like I am in third year college in my and in my college only service-based company comes. So for recruitment. So how can I crack big tech giants like Microsoft, Google, or Amazon?
Okay, so I will ask you this question back to you. How will you crack it?
Okay. Well, you just said like we should be focusing on DSA as majority of them are asking DSA in their interviews and
Okay,
yeah,
you have you are good at like really good at DSA. How
okay,
will companies like Google and Microsoft get to know about you?
yeah, that's a good question. So basically, I have to apply for them.
Okay, you applied.
Okay,
There are more than 4,000 colleges in India.
right?
More than I think 40, 50,000 students graduate. More than that, I think more than
Yeah,
that.
hmm,
If you take If you take on an average, there are like 100 students graduating from computer science. Like bare minimum 100 multiplied by 4,000. How much it is?
It's a big number.
It's a big number. It's 400K.
Yeah.
These are computer science students. I'm just talking about computer science students. So how will you stand out of that crowd? All of them,
Okay.
all of them applied. Let's say, okay, not all of them. Let's say 20,000 people apply for
Yeah.
that job.
Right.
Of those 20,000, let's say 10,000 are like really outstanding. They have amazing DHA skills. How will
Okay.
that happen? What would the next process be? You applied. 20,000 applied, 10,000 have amazing. 10,000 might go through. But how will the company get to know that these are good 10,000 students?
Maybe with referral or recommendations.
How many applications can an HR process?
I don't know. I don't know much about that.
Right. That's where the numbers get get a bit difficult to digest. So
Uh,
it's there are like very, I don't know, like I'm not from HR background, just I'm like taking crack at it. So
hmm.
there would be various phases for landing up a job, and that applies for any company, not just with Google or Microsoft or Amazon or any other. Just like with any company, be it product based or be it service based. Like this is another misconception that people have. Like service based have less pay, companies like product based have good pay, like that. So okay, so the 20,000 people who are applying for a job at Google, let's say for example, Google has just five openings for that particular role. 20,000 people are applying. Let's do the maths. All those 20,000 people, let's say, uh, I get to filter just 1,000 resumes. For example, 1,000 is again, I'm talking about a very, very big number. So what about those
Yeah.
19,000 people? And how will I come to that 1,000 applications? You will say, hey, there will be a bot running that will just filter out the keywords and stuff. Okay, fine. I'll take that as a word. There are 1,000 applications that after the bot has filtered, HR get. Now the HR has a task in hand to review those 1,000 resumes. Now there has been no contact with the student yet. These are just 1,000 resumes that the HR is reviewing. Again, I'm talking about a very big number. Usually, it just doesn't happen. HRs don't have the time
Yeah.
to filter out 1,000 resumes. 1,000 is a very big number. Still, I'll take this. HR puts in efforts, filter out 1,000 resumes. Now, from those 1,000 resumes, he or she will be calling people for an interview, or let's say put in a preliminary round of programming and stuff. Okay, he put in a round, and from those 1,000, we end up getting, let's say, 200 people who like cleared up all the rounds. They are like top notch. They met the cutoff bar. Do you think there's enough bandwidth with just one or two or three or four people to interview 200 people? Yes, no,
No. No.
no, right? So you can't interview
Hmm.
200 people. So
Hmm.
how will it happen? From those 200, what will happen is HR will further scrutiny so this is the first time the HR will be doing the scrutiny of the resumes. So from those
Yeah.
200 people, the HR will be, let's say, shortlisting 20 resumes or 30 resumes at max. That's at max. So
Yeah.
for those 20 resumes, like from those 200 to landing up to those 20, what will be the difference? What will be the difference? I'll say all the 200s are from tier 3 institutes,
Okay.
tier 2 institutes, tier 4 institutes. All of them have strong DSS skills. All of them, I'm taking a very hypothetical scenario over here. All of them
Yeah.
are really
Yeah.
good. From those 200, I'm taking all the cases that people think of, that hey, I am from a tier 2 institute, tier 3 institute, I am from a tier 3 city, um, I have good CGPA or lesser CGPA, even that, like there's
Yeah.
mix of everything, lesser, good. DSA is awesome. I'm a good competitive programmer. I'm not a good competitive programmer. It's a mixed bunch of 200
Yeah.
people. From those 200, I have to make a place into those 20 people who are getting interviewed. That's my first touch point with the
Yeah.
someone at Google. Right? How will I land up in those 20? What will be the key differentiator?
Maybe the HR will think of like what exactly they want for the role. Like
How
they
will
will,
they? They have
maybe they
never.
have some priority. Like uh, I
How will
don't
they
know
get?
much about it.
Sorry
I
to
haven't
interrupt,
even.
but we
Okay.
have the answer on our t-shirts.
Yeah. Do cool things that matter.
How will you do cool things? How will you do those cool things?
Maybe after taking some tips from our seniors, and we have you. You will be helping us in doing cool things.
What tips will I give? I'll just say, hey, do good things that matter, cool things that matter. How will you decipher
We,
this? I'm being very blunt over here. Like
yeah,
this is
yeah.
people have to like really understand that from those 200 getting to those 20, it's not an easy job, and you have just one shot at it. What is that one shot? That one shot is your resume. How will your
Okay.
resume stand out of? Because all the HR will be seeing is your resume. HR can't interview 200 people. Max to max, they can interview 20 people. That's also like a big number I'm talking about.
Yeah.
20 people is still a big number for just like one or two roles out there. So, how to make your resume stand out of it? I should stand out of the crowd. You'll say, hey, I'll put in words like ML, engineers, and stuff like that. Again, you have already done that filtering. What
Yeah.
HR will be looking for is beyond that. It's beyond your academics. Have you put in your GitHub link? They'll open up the GitHub link. Recruiters are smart these
Okay.
days. What kind of work that you have done on GitHub? Have you just have the sourced, forked repo, or is it something that you have your own source? Is it
Okay.
copyrighted? Is it something of your own? They are like really, really smart. Trust me. What kind of projects you have done? Is it something which, like, let's say, Titanic sink prediction? It's something which I have got bored now seeing in
Hmm.
resumes. I've done Titanic sink prediction. Hey, that's it.
Oh,
That's not a project that you will showcase for a job at Google, right? You need to go
hmm.
beyond to show that you stand out of the crowd. So when you say do cool things that matter, it's the cool things that you're doing right now during
Yeah.
your academic days, college days. So the math is very simple. The rest 19,000 people who are not getting that job, the answer is plain and simple that you have not done something which will make you stand out of that crowd. So do that. Work on your
Okay.
skills. Work on your resume. When I say resume, it's not like making it flashy with colors and fonts. It's about like what you're putting it over there actually. What will be the different things that you will be putting. When it's a different thing,
Yeah.
it's like it should be like tangible. It should be like verifiable. It should be something that you can prove. You can talk about it. You can talk at length about it. Let's say you are doing something and you just like uh, interview ask you something about your project and you can go
Hmm.
on and on beyond your academics. Academic projects everyone do. They will
Yeah.
see academic one, academic two in every resume. But have you done beyond academic one, academic two is what they will look at. Have you put in extra effort? Because companies will
Hmm.
look for that. Companies will see that this person will do something which has been dictated to him or her. But can the person do
Okay.
something beyond and put in his or her innovation in place? That's that's a deal breaker, right? So that's why you
Okay.
crack. You have to do things outside your comfort zone, outside your academics, outside whatever has been told and dictated to you, right? So that's a plain simple math. And I don't know again what happens in the HR side of things, but I'm just like guessing this from my learnings. When I used to apply, I used to feel the same thing, but then I learned like okay, they have a lot of like tons of resumes coming in. They are not able to like skim through every one of them. I have to make sure that my resume stand out of that entire bulk
Yeah.
of people applying.
Okay. So I think like we have discussed a lot on this thing, and just like if you have to give only one advice to student, what it would be?
So, one advice would be, again, follow your own path. Don't follow someone else's journey. People often make this mistake. They start following someone else's journey. Um, Getting motivated, getting inspired by someone else's progress is good. But if you start following that same journey, same path, it's not right and advisable, I'll say. So
Okay.
that, hey, this person has got a job at this place, let's say at NASA, for example. I'll do this and I'll also get a job at NASA. Right? Like that's not the way. Uh,
Yeah.
you're doing something which is not of your interest. So don't be a person who is following someone else's path or journey. Just come up with your own plan. Come up. It's okay to get failed. It's fine that
Yeah.
you failed in first attempt, second attempt, third attempt, or like you fail lot many times. You can start again. But the moment you start doing something what someone else is telling you to do, that's where you're doing something wrong, I'll say. This is my thought process, and that's why I say, like, I come from a humble background, middle class family, and say this thing very carefully. um, Whenever you are doing something, do it with passion, whatever you do. um, if you're committed to your work, you will form your own path and plan. You don't have to follow even someone else's. Like it's
Yeah.
good to get motivated, inspired. You see someone else is applying somewhere. You if you feel that you have that inclination, then go for it. Otherwise, just for the sake of it, then don't do it.
Okay. Okay. So Sid, let's ease this up with some of the fun part of our session. Impossible decisions for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so the first question
Over to
for
you,
you,
Rohan. Yeah.
yeah, the first question for you is: would you all rather be always late for important events by 10 minutes, or would rather attend every event 20 minutes early?
Neither of it. I'll say be on
Now you
time.
have to select one.
No, no, that's what. So even this is something that my team also says, that I'm a kind of a person who is rarely late to meetings. I'm talking about like pre-COVID times also. So I always try to be on time. It's very rare that my previous meetings get extended, or even in the physical world, I'm making anyone late. So I try to reach early. So yes, the second one, I try to reach early rather than making anyone else wait for me. I don't like waiting, letting like making people wait for me. So yeah, I'll not 20 minutes early, but maybe, yeah, 10 minutes, 15 minutes early.
Okay, so would you like to get stranded in Antarctica or in a desert?
Um, Antarctica, just like that. I don't know. Spend some time with penguins.
Okay, would you rather always have full battery for your phone or full tank of your car?
That's a tough one. Um, I'll go with full battery for my phone. I love traveling, but I don't like driving in, like on busy streets. If it's empty roads, then I'll prefer full tank of my car. Uh, I can just like zoom past by. But, otherwise, I'll go with the full battery for my phone. Sit, like, lie down on my bed and then just like use it till it dies off.
Next one.
Well, sorry to interrupt, but it is never gonna die up because you will be having you will be having it night. Okay.
Okay, would you rather have a pause button in your life or have a rewind button?
Uh, I'll go with the pause button instead. So pause button will help me, like, just pause everything and then reflect back and what happened wrong instead of going back and then coming forward. Just pause there. Automatically it helps you reflect back instead of like doing rewind and then coming back to the front, to the actual time.
Okay, would you like to be a vegan or only be able to eat meat?
Vegetarian always.
Okay. Next one. Would you rather never age physically or never age mentally?
Never age mentally.
Why?
I don't know. Physical also is fine, but I'm I like to keep my brain working every time. So it's okay if I never age mentally, so that I don't forget things. At least I'll remember till my death.
Okay, would you rather continue with your life or restart it?
Maybe restart it, just like that. Do a fresh start.
Why?
Okay, bye.
Um, so my philosophy of life is you can continue with whatever you have done. Just a restart will give you a totally fresh perspective to whatever you have been doing. So continuation. So think of it. You whenever things get stuck in your laptop or TV or somewhere, what do you do? Do you continue or do you restart? You restart, right? It reboots. It gives you completely fresh things. So that's the same philosophy of life that I apply. uh, I just restart things instead of just continuing with whatever it's going on.
Okay, would you rather speak your mind or never speak again?
Speak my mind always. Like I I I was a person who was an introvert. Used to be silent, never speak up. But then I learned it a bit hard way, and I'm kind of a person who just like speaks my mind. But yeah, be mindful about what you are speaking, because words spoken are like arrows. You can't take them back. So just be mindful with what you're speaking. There are ways to communicate. There are ways to say something, making sure people get convinced, uh, instead of like making instead of never speaking. So speak up your mind, but be mindful about what you're speaking and speak less.
Would you rather live in an amusement park or live in a zoo?
Amusement park. I love adventure, so I think amusement park will be the thing for me.
Now, would you rather to be forced to listen to the same 10 songs on repeat for rest of your life or forced to watch the same 5 movies on repeat for the rest of your life?
Yeah, I'll go with songs instead of movies. Like I don't know, movies are something that I get bored after watching like one or two times at max. There are very few movies that I can watch anytime and on repeat. Not on repeat, but mostly like after certain intervals. So that's where I go with songs instead of
Your
movies.
favorite song?
Mostly I like A.R. Rahman and Lucky Ali songs. So picking any of it, it's my favorite.
Okay, would you rather have a time machine or a teleporter?
What's the difference? I think both of them are same, right?
Teleporter will make you
No.
go from one place to another. Time machine can make you travel
Okay.
in the past or future.
Okay. I I'll go with, I don't know, maybe with time machine. You can be at one place at one time. Can't be at like multiple places. So another philosophy of life is, um, you can't go back in time. So just be anywhere you want, see how things were, then come back. That's it. Like you can't change it. Just be there, see how things were, and then come back.
Okay. Would you rather have to write everything you say out by hand or only be able to speak in rhymes?
Uh, I'm okay either ways. Like I've stopped writing for a while. It's been quite some time. I have like given exams in like writing. So I'm okay either ways. But if I have to choose, maybe I'll go with the second one. Only be able to speak in rhymes.
Okay. Constantly worry about germs or be terrified of a monster under the bed?
The second one, be terrified of a monster under the bed. I'm not worried about germs.
Okay. Would you rather never be able to use the phone again or never be able to use a computer?
I can go with phone. I can leave phone, but I can't leave the computer.
Okay. Be forced to wear the same thing every day or have to do same thing every day.
I'm okay to wear same thing every day instead of doing the same thing every day. So wearing is fine, but not doing the same thing.
Okay. Would you rather get rid of one bad habit or one good habit or get a new good habit?
The second one, get a good habit. Maybe it will outnumber the bad habits. One day you'll forget the bad habits. But you never know.
Would you rather be a center of attention or go unnoticed?
I would prefer being center of attention. Like everyone loves attention, so why not? But sometimes I prefer going unnoticed also. So it's both, but yeah, I have to choose. I'll go with first.
Okay. Would you rather not use email for a month or feel hungover for a month?
I would prefer not using email for a month. It's fine. I think there was a time when I checked my mails after 15 days of time, and my inbox was flooded with mails. Uh, so, but yeah, it kind of gave me a good relax 15 days. So I'm okay to not go with like emails for a month if I get an option, hopefully.
Okay. Would you rather lose your keys or forget your cell phone?
Forget my cell phone. I'm okay to lose my keys. Not okay to lose
Okay.
my keys.
This one is interesting. Would you rather be part of the communities or become the prime minister?
Uh, that's a tough one. I would be more inclined towards being part of the communities. But being a prime minister will just give you more responsibility and give you more opportunities also to do better for the communities. So it's a tough call. So it's a tie. I don't know. Never thought about it.
Okay, now we have a few questions from the audience. Just one or two will take. Just a second.
So here is a question from Arjit Mishra. After all it will we all are going through in the this pandemic after lockdown, we all are now getting started the session again live, getting on track. How did you manage your professional life during lockdown?
Well, for us, the work didn't stop at like I think for students it was kind of a privilege um, uh, for the colleges to come back on the online world. But for us, we have always been online first world. So I think for us the work didn't stop. It was tough. It's still tough for us. Earlier there were less calls. Now there are more calls. Of course, there's more work to be done just because you're living in a virtual world now. Um, but there's a good sign to this also, that you get to do more things, um, and you get to interact with more people, although virtually. But yeah, you get connected with more people now. It was tough. It's still tough, and I don't know. I'm still like trying to manage my balance, my personal and professional life. It's I think the key to manage or balance your life, both personal and professional life, is um, take breaks in between. So whenever I feel a bit exhausted, I just like switch it off completely, take breaks, don't switch it on until the break is over. So go for like do nothing, just 2 3 days off, completely off the grid. Switch off your phone, switch off your laptop, and you just spend time with the family, friends.
Yeah. Okay, so the next question is non-technical skills like communication are important too, but we tend to negotiate those most of the time. So how did you work on your non-technical skills?
So okay, for communication skills, I could advise watching English movies maybe with subtitles. You get to learn a lot with that. Start watching if you don't have a nick for it. Slowly you'll adjust yourself. So follow what they are saying with the subtitles. You will learn 2 3 things. So the first thing is you will learn a storytelling approach, how to narrate a story. Second thing is the pronunciation, fluency, pauses, how to give those pauses. Third thing is like how like what I learn when there's a dialogue delivery happening. So the response that is coming in, that's what you will learn. How to give an instant response, something which is like totally off the books. You don't know what you have not prepared for this answer, and you just like the expressions that you give, making sure the other side, how the other side will react, like the other person on the receiver side will react. So for communication skills and everything, I think you should watch English movies. uh, that will give
Okay.
you a lot of learnings.
Yeah, majority of the people are following this thing.
Yeah,
Okay. So we
and
so do we have any other question? Hmm.
try to
Yeah,
converse and
go ahead.
try to converse in English, um, as much as possible. Now this
Yeah,
is
right,
something,
right.
yeah, you will learn it. Like it will be tough at the initial stages, but then you will learn it eventually.
Yeah, I totally agree. So do we have any other question, Rohan? Okay, another question from Siddharth. LinkedIn is a great place to build professional connection and apply for jobs. What does a company look in a profile?
So when you're applying via LinkedIn jobs, you do have an option to, I think, upload your resume. That's one. But otherwise, the company is looking for is your skills. They will look for your certifications. They will look for your academic project links and stuff over there. What kind of posts that you make, like you post on LinkedIn. Those are the things that the company will look for essentially. But yeah, I think that's that.
Okay, so that was all from the question side. Now we hope that you all found the session informative. The primary goal of the session was to learn from the experience of experience, like we were having said here. And we would be hosting another session in coming month. And guess what? We would be featuring some of our attendee in our next session. So thank you so much, Sid, for joining. Any last word do you want to say to our audience?
No, I think it was a great session. Thanks,
Yeah.
Pranshu, Aman, and the rest of the folks behind the effort. I really like the impossible questions part. It was kind of fun surprise
Okay.
over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, all in all, leaving with one advice to everyone out there. There is like one thing I've learned over a couple of years in terms of failures is never to like depend on those failures. Find the positive and the bright side from those failures. uh, you might not feel it at that moment, but you will feel it at a later point of a time. But if you spend a good chunk of your time just to keep rethinking about your failure, that's the time you're losing. Instead, just stand up like as soon as possible and then move on to the task that you want to achieve in your life. So yeah, with this we can like that's it from my side. Thank you folks for having me.
Yeah.
It was a fun session.
Okay.
I hope everyone out there enjoyed this talk and there was
Yeah. I
good
hope the
luck
same.